The Twisted Laboratory. Many of you might be struggling with this one. However, it's very doable without even doing any mechanics. All you need is a good healer. I would call it the brute force strategy. However, I do recommend learning how to play it legit. As soon as the boss teleports on top of somebody and then fears them, you need to group up within that circle, but only for as many players as there are purple orbs surrounding that player. And the player who's feared is counted as a player within it. For example, there are 2 orbs on this guy. He announces he has 2. He says it in chat. That helps a ton. And then we need to have only 2 people within it. We succeeded, and it creates this memory stone. This makes the fight so much easier because when he does the red wave, everybody gets a debuff, and this area will cleanse that debuff. And the debuff basically makes it so you will take 0 heal, and you will die to the poison because the healer can't heal you. As you see in this example, we failed it, the stone broke, he creates that red wave, everybody gets the debuff, and now all my heals do 0, despite everybody taking a ton of damage. That debuff lasts for like 10 seconds and is long enough for people to just die. However, there are ways to cheese that and ultimately still beat this fight even if you fail this fear mechanic every single time, like we do right here. Again, the boss is going to create that red mist area and then make it so everybody takes 0 damage. There you go. But I'm now mitigating that damage and everybody takes a ton less and they don't die from the poison. You just need to be quick to heal them back up again afterwards, and they need to block the Q blocks. Now, there are 2 ways you can do this. As a healer, you want to use the ability Blessed Barrier with the specialization to be able to target everybody. On top of that, you want Invincible Wall and potentially Blitz to be able to use that Invincible Wall twice. So when you get that Fear mech and you fail it, like I should have gone in it right there, then you need to heal everybody back up. The dash can be pretty lethal, and then you need to be ready for when the boss is going to do that red mist and put the debuff on everybody. This is going to happen like now. If everybody's grouped up, you put that angel on them. You cannot heal them, but what you can do is shield them with that Blessed Barrier. You give them a little bit more survivability, and you can use Blitz and use that barrier then twice to help even more. Or you can do it like I did to just help heal them up afterwards. I did it with Flash Wave. And ultimately that's the fight. You're just going to have to keep repeating that. Make sure everybody's topped up. Another part where they take a ton of damage is when the boss goes to the middle. You get the blood areas, and then ideally everybody groups back to the middle for this large red area attack, and then you just heal them back to full before he appears. And that's the fight. It makes it so much easier if everybody has a bit of hit points and you have a good healer. I recommend at least 20,000, upwards of 24,000. And as the healer, you can see my setup here for the wand skills and then the bow skills. And you're ultimately using Flash Wave for the ton of healing, Nature's Blessing for the support of mana and also regen, and Blitz to be able to double cast certain spells. Like sometimes I'll double cast Fountain of Life for just insane amount of heals and also the mana regen, or you'll double cast Invincible Wall during that poison phase where you can't heal them, and make sure to have Blessed Barrier so you give them all that protection. It is nighttime, so you just give them all of that endurance, which should help a bit. Now another thing that can make this a lot easier is to block the shield throw effect. So when the boss does this fury attack, you can see it's the circle one, you need to dodge that. But it's going to bounce between everybody who's near the original target, and everybody else will only see a white circle. You'll get it even during this phase. And so if you're next to somebody, just block anyway, and you can see you block that damage. You don't get stunned. But yeah, that's ultimately the fight. As the healer, you can keep everybody alive by making sure they're full HP for that fear mechanic. When the boss dashes, heal up that person who got dashed. And when he's going to go and do the poison phase, try and put the extra protection on them with the Blessed Barrier, and also your Invincible Wall for the extra layer of shield. And you shouldn't have a problem completing this dungeon as the base level. Once we get into trials, you will of course have to perfect those mechanics. You have 2 weeks to learn, and by that point I expect everybody will have caught on. But it is a bit hard to see how many orbs are exactly on the person who's feared, and then you're going to have to in some way coordinate who actually goes in. Usually people order themselves, and it's always the furthest player who receives the fear, so that person can be number 1, and then you're going to have player 2, 3 and 4. And so when there's called like 3 orbs, then you have number 1, and then 2 and 3 have to go in the circle. And if you have 4, then all 4, and if you only have 2, then only 1 and 2 go. And that's a very simple way to do it. People will learn it eventually. Just for now, it can be helpful to know how to preemptively heal this fight and use the correct buffs, and everybody can survive with like 20,000 or more hit points. For a massive hit point boost, farm your artifacts, and you can get ones that give the set with plus 1,000 and another one with plus 1,500 health, and then even this extra heal over time. Again, my build is completely scuffed. I am using the Ascended set, however, but with like no traits. Ideally they'll have max mana. And I wasn't even using Stellarite. Definitely do it, helps for healing. And I did actually go and compare like the Sacred Repose set, which is going to give 30% healing, versus the tier 1 Ascended set. And the difference is actually super minimal. Like only just about a 3% difference on a build that has a tier 2 set versus a tier 1 set. And the Ascended set has got so much more accessible now. You can craft it so easily. And you can use the new sync system like I did here to have it at max level without even needing to spend any growth stones to level it up. And you can heal for an absolute ton here on all your heal over times, and keeping the group alive is no problem whatsoever with over 170% skill heal. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.